What's good, everyone? It's the one and only NYF. Now, if you guys enjoy NFL NBA content, want to see some more gaming content soon, give this video a like, and if you're new, go subscribe to the channel while you're at it. Now, let's get into this video. Man, shout out to Kirk Cousins, man. Shout out to Kirk. Captain Kirk, you got it done, man. You got it done. Listen, I was watching this game live, of course, surrounded by a lot of Saints fans. Listen. It's quiet right now. Can you hear any background noise? You can't, because it's quiet. It's silent. Listen, shout out to Captain Kirk, man. I told you this game was gonna be a lot closer than what a lot of people said. This is my thing. This game it was either gonna go two ways. It was gonna either be a blowout by the Saints, they're just gonna come out and dominate from beginning to end, or it's gonna be real close and really scary. And it was definitely really close, really scary. And the Vikings got it done, man. We got it done. Captain Kirk, he showed out this game. We got it, listen, that narrative of Kirk Cousins not being a clutch quarter might be done with. To go in the dome, a team that was projected, a lot of people were predicting this team to be the championship team of the NFC. For real, a lot of people were predicting this team to be a championship team. And to beat them on wild card weekend, a 13-3 team in the Dome of Death, and to walk out as victors, listen, shout out to you, Kirk Cousins. Shout out to his defense. Shout out to Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer, you're one hell of a defensive mastermind. You always got something for Sean Payton. Every single year, you always find ways to, get Drew Brees off a rhythm. I really got to salute to Mike Zimmer. Listen, I always talk about Belichick being the best defensive mastermind. Listen, Mike Zimmer, you're right there. You know why? It's because you went to the Dome and a team that was predicted to put up 40, 50 points. Hell, we were talking about Mike Thomas possibly getting 15 catches, 20 yards. My question was, how the hell are you going to stop Mike Thomas? Xavier Rhodes has been up and down all year. The secondary, you lose Maurice Alexander. Mike Hughes goes on IR. And guess what? You still find ways to get it done. Mike Thomas, I'm not going to say was completely shut down, but can't guard Mike. All right, 7 catches for 70 yards. Not so bad for the leading reception leader. Listen. Shout out to his defense. That pressure was there. Everson Griffin, Daniel Hunter, they brought it. Linval Joseph, these guys brought it. Shout out to Eric Kendricks, man. You didn't hear that much about Kamara. You know why? Because Eric Kendricks, he was shutting everything down up the middle. Eric Kendricks is one hell of a linebacker to come out on the banged up quadriceps. This guy Eric Kendricks is banged up. He missed a few practices, but he still found ways to get it done. Anthony Barr came back. Listen, Anthony Barr had one of the other games. This defense overall, salute to you. Led by Mike Zimmer. Harrison Smith came out, balled out. Shout out to Xavier Rhodes. Had a really good game. Probably his best game of the season. Shout out to Xavier Rhodes. This dude, Xavier Rhodes, is banged up. I'm not going to say he completely shut down Mike Thomas, but hey, he found a way to slow him down, and that's all the Vikings needed. Shout out to Dalvin Cook, at least in the first half. Dalvin Cook was pretty much dominating the first half. Offensive line was doing really well when it came to run blocking. Thielen, had a good game, of course. Diggs, it wasn't a typical Diggs game where he catches bombs all over the place, but listen, it opened it up for everyone else. Kyle Rudolph had a good game. Listen, at the end of the day, Kirk Cousins made plays when needed. That bomb he threw in overtime to Adam Thielen down the field, oh my goodness. It doesn't get any better than that. Now, I told you guys, man, as long as the Vikings could keep this game close, that play-action game was going to come in crucial. And how did that play set up? By a play-action. Listen, that's where the Vikings are at their best. And that's why I said you really can't count this Vikings team out. You got one hell of a coach. You got the talent. This is maybe the most talented team still in the playoffs, honestly. And at the moment, you got a winning quarterback. Kirk Cousins, like I said, just went in the Dome of Death. Nobody really gave Vikings a chance. I mean, every prediction I looked at, it was Saints are going to win, they're going to dominate, they're going to go to the next round, no questions asked. But the total opposite. Kirk Cousins is advancing to next week, heading to San Fran, which I will be cheering for him as a Seahawks fan. Listen, shout out to the Vikings, man. Shout out to the Vikings. Their playoff season isn't over yet. Shout out to Captain Kirk. I can't show him enough love. Captain Kirk, he didn't turn the ball over once, made the right plays when needed, and he came out as the victor. Listen, great game by Kirk and the Vikings defense and the Vikings overall. Now let's get to the Saints. Listen, Saints fans, it's time to choose one. It's time to choose. Listen, do you want Brees or do you want Taysom and Teddy? You gotta choose one because this is your last season. This was the 3-year window. It's over pretty much after this. This was your last year to really get a championship run. Now I hear reports that Drew Brees might come back and this and that. But listen, man, if I'm being totally honest, if I'm keeping it 100, if I'm keeping it full truth, the reason why y'all come here, he played like a BUM bum yesterday. He played the worst game of the season. I mean, this guy Drew Brees, he's been balling all season. I mean, the Houston Texans, the first game of the season, balled out. Of course, he dealt with the thumb injury. Came in, he started balling out. He only had one bad game. This is probably his second worst game, besides the Falcons game. And talking about the Falcons game, that Falcons game showed me a lot, man. That Falcons game just left a bad taste in my mouth. I'm talking about the first one, of course, when they lost 26-9. Them coming off the bye week, being fully healthy pretty much, and just laying the egg like that, always left a bad taste in my mouth. It was one of the reasons why I was like, are we sure this is a real championship contending team? Because championship contending teams don't pull an egg like that. They just don't do that. And they did. Listen, what a waste of season. What a waste of season, man. 13-3. It sucks that you guys had to play wild card weekend, but this is a game that you guys should have handled. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, that overtime on 3rd and goal, that was a push off by Kyle Rudolph. It was. But at the end of the day, who cares? Because y'all weren't supposed to be in that position anyway. Listen. When Janoris Jenkins forced that fumble early in the game and Von Bell recovered it, you guys should have scored a touchdown there. You guys settled for so many field goals, fumbles, turnovers. And I'm going to be real. Looking at the game overall, I felt that Taysom should have been the quarterback for the key moments in the game. I'm going to be real. Taysom is the reason why this game wasn't a 20-point blowout. Taysom, when he was affecting the game, throwing the ball, running the ball, I mean, this guy was looking like my man beast mode. He was out here giving key impact blocks. I mean, this guy Taysom was doing everything to keep on the game. So was Deontay Harris. But Drew Brees, where you at? Kamara, where you at? Sean Payton is really who needs to get a lot of the blame. Listen, this game, most of it was on Drew Brees and Sean Payton. Drew Brees had one of the worst games. I mean, it's something about the playoffs when it comes to Brees, like the past few years. I mean, this guy really, he's not the same quarterback in the playoffs. I gotta keep it real. He's not the same quarterback in the playoffs. Last year, the Eagles game, the one that they won in the divisional game, he struggled for most of the game. They won 17-14, but he struggled, especially in the first half. We know about the Rams game last year. And then come out as hot as you can be going into the playoffs. And this to drop an egg at home in the dome where you guys are favorite huge. I mean, you guys were a 7.5 favorite going into the game. And you guys laid the egg. Listen, man, it might be done. It might be time for Drew Brees to hang it up, man. Sean Payton play calling was whack. I want to know why this guy's allergic. I mean, I really think Sean Payton's allergic to Latavius Murray. I don't know why, because the 2 years before, before Latavius Murray got there, 2 years before, he was pounding Mark Ingram to the ground. Mark Ingram was automatic for at least 10 to 15 touches a game. This guy, Latavius Murray, gets 7 touches. And it's been like that all year. I mean, this guy refusal to get a number 2 receiver. Came back to haunt him. Where was Ted Ginn? Traquan couldn't get open. Listen, the dynasty, or not the dynasty. This is far from a dynasty. The era of the Saints of Sean Payton and Drew Brees era, I think it's coming to an end, man. And it's sad that you guys are going to only have one ring to show for it. Now, a ring is a ring. You get a Super Bowl ring, salute to you. You know, we see that it's hard to get a championship ring. It's hard to get a Super Bowl. But, man, they left so many on the table. I mean, we can talk the past 2 years, or the past 3 years. The Minneapolis Miracle, the no call, dropping the egg to the Vikings again at home. Right? The year in 2011, one of the best offenses I've seen in my entire life. Drew Brees, the best Drew Brees that we've seen, you know, lose in heartbreaking fashion to the 49ers. Right? So, you know, the beast quake. Right? So, you know, it's like, it's really like this thing's a curse, man. It really is. Defense, I can't really place it all in the defense. I mean, yeah, they gave the big play at the end, but I mean, it shouldn't even came to that. The Saints held the Vikings to 20 points. This should have been a game where the Saints should have scored 40. I mean, how the offense been performing the past month, you would think that the Saints would score 40 points this game. Gave it to a struggling secondary. You know, offensive line played horrendous. I mean, every time I look, Daniel Hunter and Everson Griffin was on Drew Brees' ass, man. They were on him all day. And, I mean, Drew Brees just had a rough game himself. Missing receivers, turning the ball over, right there in the red zone on 1st and goal, just fumbling the ball. I mean, listen, they're throwing in double coverage to Ted again. I mean, listen, it just wasn't a good game. It just wasn't. So, you know, overall, it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be really interesting how this plays out because Teddy Brees is an unrestricted free agent. Taysom Hill is an unrestricted free agent. Drew Brees is an unrestricted free agent. So, who knows what this team is going to look like going into 2020. But I've been saying that this is a 3-year window for the Saints, starting in 2017. And it looks like your time has expired. But that's it. That's all. So shout out to Kirk Cousins. Shout out to Thielen, Mike Zimmer, and the defense. And I think the Vikings can make a run. The Vikings are a scary team, so be looking out for them. But that's it. That's all. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm the Phenomenal One, and I'm out. Deuces.